Hey guys, I'm Megan Thompson with this week's Nailers TV, and I am joined with Aaron Titcomb. Aaron, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you've been playing hockey since you were just little, right? You are from Boston. Where in Boston?
Charlestown, Mass.
Okay. So, how did you get involved into hockey and get playing the sport?
It was actually a family thing. So, my uncles played it, my fathers played it. Really, my cousins, everybody played it. There was a guy in my family, and my grandmother actually, she took me out on the ice, and I had a little milk crate back in the day, and I was 2, and she kind of just was pushing me along, and sure enough, a year or 2 later, I was zooming around on my own, and it was kind of just a love of mine, so I kind of stuck with it.
What was it about the sport that you chose to stay with? Because, as kids, you probably try everything, but what was it about hockey that grabbed your heart?
I liked how difficult it was. I liked being able to do something that really not a lot of other people could do. I took pride in that. It was challenging for me too. I had to work very hard to, continue to improve in it. It wasn't easy. I liked the challenge. So, and also my friends growing up, they were there, so I was able to hang out with my buddies. And then into high school and college, it became more of a job, and I kind of liked that. Doing something for a living is, it's an opportunity not a lot of people get. Mm-hmm. So I kind of took a passion in that, and I kind of just went with it.
So you played high school hockey, junior hockey. What was the progression of hockey for you up until this point?
Yep, so I did town hockey out of Charlestown for a bit. I did travel teams. I went to Austin Prep for 3 years. I went to Brewster Academy for 2. I went to Salisbury for 1. So I did 6 years of high school because of my injury, which we'll get into. But, and then I went to a year of junior hockey, actually out of Merrimack College in the USPHL for the Islanders, and then 4 years at Merrimack. And now I'm here.
Just so much hockey.
Yeah, it's a lot.
The injury that you touched on a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about that. What had happened to you and how you grew from it and kind of used it to get to where you are now.
Yeah, definitely. So that year was tough. The first game of my season, I was 17 years old. Broke my collarbone, was out for 3 months. Did rehab for that. When I was healthy to come back, I came back, played 6 games, and I broke my C3 and C4, so a broken neck. I got hit from behind, a boarding call. It was a pretty bad hit. Kind of blacked out during it. It was on the ice. There was blood in every place on my body, basically, and that's all I could see. And ended up getting to the bench, and then after that, blacked out. Was in the hospital for a couple days. Couldn't really move much, the first couple hours or so, but kind of regained my bearings, which I'm very lucky for. It's kind of changed my perspective on hockey and the fact that, hey, it can be taken away from you. Just like that. So, you have to be thankful with where you're at. If you're even playing, whatever sport it is, it can be taken away. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky enough to still be playing, but just going through that, I couldn't even walk up a flight of steps without passing out.
Wow.
So, it kind of brought me back to square one, and it was like, okay, if hockey's what you want, you have to give everything, and if you're willing to almost basically never be able to walk again to play, obviously there's a passion there, and, I had a support system that, I'm very thankful for. I'm very lucky to have with my family back home. They helped me through it every step of the way. I think just going through that kind of gave me a different look on how it's just a sport and how there's more to it than, it's just hockey. So I'm fortunate enough to still be playing. I'm lucky to get through that, and I'm glad to be here.
How hard was it for you to take a moment where you're kind of paralyzed for a little bit and get back out on the ice and kind of overcome that fear of, you never know what can happen when you're playing. So how difficult was it for you to get back out there and continue to pursue this passion?
Yeah, at first I think it was more so shocked because, the doc said I probably wouldn't be able to play again.
Wow.
So it was just a matter of, my first interest was just being able to walk. I just want to be able to walk up steps, so I took it step by step, and at the end of the day, I think playing hockey is what I should be doing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of who I am, and it doesn't define me, but I'm lucky enough to still be playing, and I can talk all day about my injuries and my adversity because I've been through it, and I'm sure there's other people out there who have been through it, and I think I can just be somebody who can show them that, hey, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If whatever you go through, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and being paralyzed for a little bit was obviously scary, but there's worse things in life, so I'm very lucky.
What was it that you focused on to motivate you? Was it just to keep playing hockey, or was there something specifically when you were going through that tough time that really pushed you to get back out on the ice, or was it the NHL, or what was it that really motivated you?
I think it was to keep proving people wrong. because I had a lot of doubters growing up outside my family. That kind of, they kind of bashed me because I had these big lofty goals and these big dreams of, eventually playing professional. And I mean, I wasn't a big standout player, my whole career I wasn't a big standout guy. So I think kind of proving them wrong, and almost that was a gratification towards me and towards my family, and kind of giving the Titcomb name, seeing it under the lights, that's pretty cool. So, yeah. I mean, I know my family takes a lot of pride in it, as do I, and I'm happy to put the sweater on with the Titcomb name on the back of the jersey. That, if anything, that motivates me, is just knowing that, hey, a little kid's going to come and see the name Titcomb, and it's not going to be a kid from Charlestown who didn't make it. It's going to be a kid who stuck with it, and it's almost anything's possible.
Now that you're playing pro, this is your first season playing pro. How amazing is it to know that you did prove people wrong? You're getting paid to play the sport that you love, and hopefully it's just the first year of something really great.
Yeah, no, it feels great, and I think it just goes to show that support will help you along the way. You're not going to do it on your own. You need people who are going to help you out along the way. Obviously, I'd like to make it a long career as long as I can. It's I'm very fortunate to get paid, and for my grandparents, my mother, my girlfriend, whoever it may be, to be able to watch me play the game that I love, I think they're fortunate also, because they're seeing their son, their grandson, their boyfriend excel at what he loves to do. So yeah, I'm very lucky, and hopefully it's a long road for me.
You talk a lot about support, and I've had the opportunity to meet your sweet girlfriend and your amazing mother. Talk about that support system that you have and what really it means to you. Because, I mean, in just talking about your career, you can't talk about it without them.
Yeah, no, I can't. I mean, I give 99% of my success to them, and that's the 100% truth. My mother, single mother at 16 years old in Charlestown, a rough and rowdy neighborhood, that's a lot of cards stacked up against you, and for her to work 4 or 5 jobs at 16 and make it work for me because I was her priority, and just seeing that, a lot of people don't get to see that side of a parent, So I think I was fortunate enough to be raised in that situation with her, and she showed me that, hey, if you want something to get done, you get out when you work. Because she said, if you don't work, you'll get left behind. So that's the motto that I go with every single day I get up, and it's, if I don't work, I get left behind. So her support has been unbelievable. She's been my rock. She is my number one fan. I love her to death. My girlfriend, it's tough with the long distance, obviously, her being back in Boston. I mean, but we're making it work. You know, obviously you have your tough times, as with anything. But she loves me, I love her, and there's nothing I can say. She's been unbelievable for me this whole process, and she knows I'm doing what I love. It's tough for her because she doesn't get to see me. It's tough for me because I don't get to see her. But I know she supports me no matter what I have to do to keep making this dream a reality. And my grandparents, I think, I go to them every time I go home. I go over to their house for dinner. They make me a nice dinner. They love me. They're always calling, checking in on me, checking in on my injuries. How I'm playing, everything. So, I mean, just having that love and that support, I think it goes a much longer way than people get to see, because they just see me out there on the ice. Yeah. Whereas if they saw what it took to get there, I think their views would broaden a bit, and they kind of see that, hey, it's just more than someone skating around on a piece of ice. So.
Yeah, you're very blessed. I've had that, like I said, I've had the opportunity to meet them. You talked about the hard work that your mom instilled in you. We've not only seen that on the ice, but also within the community here in Wheeling. And it's something that, even when talking to her, she said, she brought you up to serve in community. And the second you get here, you're wanting to get out and talk to the youth here in Wheeling and do DARE graduations and get part of Booze Cruise You Lose. So talk about that, and why is that important for you to not only be that idol on the ice, but also that idol that's out in the schools and putting a face to pro hockey?
Yeah, I think that comes from where I came from, and with my mother raising me the way she did, we go out for coat drafts. We collect coats all year, and usually on Christmas Eve we'd like to do it. We go out and just drive around to, if we found homeless people or a homeless shelter, we'd just stop and give them coats, pants, coffee, whatever it may be. And I've been doing that, since I was probably 11, 12 years old. I've been doing that. She's been doing it her whole life, but I was too young to go out, when I was younger than that. But I got to go out and I got to experience that. And I got to see how bad some people do have it. And they'll just get judged and they'll get stereotyped as being a bad person, where half those people out there, wasn't their choice. It was just a tough luck. It was a tough draw when it came to their life, and they're just living their life as best as they can now. So seeing that side of it, I think kind of formed me to be a role model in the community. I mean, I did it in college, I did it in high school, I do it on every platform that I get. And coming here, I knew right from the start that was going to be my number one goal. I wanted to get out into the community because I truly feel not enough guys do it. I think it's an overlooked talent, an overlooked skill for an organization where these are the people that are supporting you every single day, every single night. At the games, they're the ones cheering you on.
Yeah.
You know, so to get out and show them that, hey, it's appreciated, I think that goes a long way for them because they may feel overlooked sometimes. You know, and the reality is we're playing because of those people.
Yeah.
You know, they're our support system on the ice. And the DARE programs and, you know, the booze cruise that I'm going to be doing now, like I went to the chief over at the Wheeling Police Department with DJ and sat down with him, and I was very stern that I want to get out there and like get me going now because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. You never know.
Right.
You know, with pro hockey, you never know what can happen. And so he set me up some great opportunities, and you know, the drugs and the alcohol, that really touches close to me because my father, he struggled with drugs, you know. I had a couple family members struggle with alcohol and drugs, and I saw firsthand what it can do to families, especially if you start at a young age and get into that wrong slope. It can hurt and devastate a family. So I don't want to see that happen. And if I can affect just one kid just by talking, that's a success. But I mean, I think I would be stupid not to take advantage of this platform to help somebody else.
Yeah, and I know that our community has really taken to you, and they love the fact that you're willing to get out there and not only just tear it up on the ice for them, but also give back to the youth. You touched on your father a little bit, and just him being affected by drugs and alcohol. And I know that you said he passed away.
Yep.
So talk about that. And is that a motivator for you, not just in like, you know, your life and hockey, but is it also part of why you want to do the underprivileged youth and why you want to make a difference in just one person's life?
Yeah. So, my father was taken from us, not by his own wishes, by the hands of somebody else, when I was 1. And I read a good poem. My stepfather actually sent me a poem, and it was a poem about the one thing that your father gives you is your name. That's what he leaves behind. When he goes, no matter how old you are, it's your name. That's what he leaves you. So, I mean, like I said, I can resort back to just putting the Titcomb jersey on and just having that light on the Titcomb name being a professional hockey player. Mm-hmm. You know, the pride that brings my grandparents, you can't match that. For me personally, I could never match that. And just seeing my senior night at college, you know, I look at them and my grandma looks at me and she goes, you know, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. So something like that, like she looks at me and she sees her son who was taken way too young from her. Mm-hmm. And I take a lot of pride in that, and that motivates me every single day. Because, I mean, people have been saying to me my whole life, you can't do it, you're not going to do it, you can't make it, why should you make it? And I basically say, well, why shouldn't it be me? Like, what's the reasons it can't be me? So I think that motivates me more than probably anything is just making a name for myself and for my family. So that name isn't tainted, and that name isn't looked at in a bad view or a bad way. I want it to be looked at as Titcomb. Oh, he's the hockey player who I went to go watch. He gave my son a puck. He changed my kid's life. You know, he changed my life. That's how I want the Titcomb name to be. So that motivates me a lot.
Every day, it seems like you're striving to make your dad proud of who you are. And I would say, I can't speak for him, but I would say that it's definitely something to be proud of.
Yeah, thank you.
What is your ultimate end goal? I mean, is there, do you want to start a nonprofit, or do you want to do something with all of this giving back ultimately, or have you even thought of that? Because playing hockey gives you this amazing platform. As a professional hockey player and a professional anything, you have this ability where people are always going to be looking up to you. Have you ever thought of the next step for what you want to do with that?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I like to go as far as I can with it and do as much as I can with it while I can, and hopefully maybe the next person in line does the same thing. I'm trying to create almost like a chain reaction, if you will. First and foremost, my hockey goals is to be in the NHL. And in my mind, I'm going to make it. It's a matter of time. I'm going to make it to the next level. I'm going to make it to the level after that. Like I'm going to. So there's going to be a lot that has to stop me. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to off the ice, I definitely want to stay in it. I definitely want to keep doing this. I want to probably become a coach because I think I have a lot to offer in that aspect, and teaching kids and showing kids the way hockey should be played and the way you should go about yourself and the way you should represent yourself. So that's definitely something I want to do. Mm-hmm. like you said, while you have this platform, because people will stop listening eventually. So that's just the reality of it. So it's how long they're willing to listen to you and how long you're willing to keep doing it. That's what really matters. So I think I don't plan on stopping. If somebody wants to listen to me and learn from me, then I'm more than happy and more than willing to take time out of my day and go help them out.
Well, I know that we're very grateful to have you with the Wheeling Nailers, and we appreciate all that you do in the community for the team, and I know that the fans absolutely adore you. With Aaron Titcomb, I'm Megan Thompson. We'll see you next time.